One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Zanis News. I'm your presenter, Sarah Miti. The headlines: King Mswati visits Victoria Falls. "38 cooperatives empowered in Mungwi." Local contractors urged to partner with foreign firms. Plus, Home Affairs Minister pays tribute to traditional ceremonies. The news in detail. In its quest to explore and appreciate the tourism potential of Zambia's tourist capital, Livingstone, King Mswati of the Kingdom of Eswatini today visited the Victoria Falls. The king was accompanied by his wife, Nkosikati Make Magongo, Minister of Tourism, Rodney Sukumba, and Foreign Affairs Permanent Secretary for Administration, Hope Situmbeko, among other government officials. Our staffer, Bupe Sendwe, is in Livingstone.
King Mswati of the Kingdom of Eswatini has described his experience at the mighty Victoria Falls in Livingstone as breathtaking. Speaking after having a tour of one of the 7 wonders of the world, King Mswati invited people from across the globe to get an experience of the vast tourism sites in Zambia.
I say that it's such a wonderful occasion. We are very grateful that we have such a big fall like this one, falls, which many people from all over the world can come and view and see what nature and what God has done to this world. It's one of the magnificent wonders of the world. When you look at it, that it stretches from Zambia all the way to Zimbabwe. We've had our very nice time when we've been walking around looking at the Victoria Falls. And as we were walking there, we were being baptized. So all our sins have now been cleansed.
And Minister of Tourism, Rodney Sukumba, describes the visit by the king, specifically to Livingstone, as a testimony of the strong bilateral relations existing between Zambia and Eswatini.
Just for the purpose of the media, I think we want to use this opportunity to just show how much of work strides that our two leaders, that of the Kingdom of Eswatini and that of Zambia, in how best we're going to harness our tourism sector. You will also notice when you followed His Majesty's visit here to Zambia was a clear indication of the number of bilaterals that we have signed between the Kingdom of Eswatini and that of Zambia, among which is that of tourism that we're definitely working on, Your Majesty, and that of aviation, which is connectivity. The biggest challenge that we've had, Your Majesty, is that most people are unable to cross-pollinate between our two countries, and the commitment that yourselves and that of His Excellency the President of Zambia have made towards making a seamless access into both countries is something that we're really waiting for. We as the technocrats, we as the policy drivers will be able to drive to making sure that that which you have handed down to us to execute, we will definitely work on that.
Among the tourist experiences by the king, his wife and entourage enjoyed while in Livingstone included a tour of the Victoria Falls, game viewing in the Mosi Otunya National Park, and a ride on the train run. Bupa Sende for Zanis News in Livingstone, Southern Province.
Now, Luangwa District Commissioner Luke Chikani has noted that the district has potential for tourist attraction if the historical sites in the area are properly maintained and marketed. The district commissioner has cited the area where the Ngoni crossed into Zambia when they were fleeing from Shaka Zulu in South Africa as one historical site that is able to attract tourists. Details in this story.
Luangwa District Commissioner has appealed to the Ministry of Tourism and other stakeholders to help maintain historical sites in the district. Mr. Chikan says the sites, when properly maintained, will help generate income through tourist attraction. The district commissioner has further appealed to the Ministry of Tourism to help build offices for the national parks and wildlife officers in the district.
To make this as a tourist attraction, we can at least generate our own resources, but we are not doing that. So those are heritage sites that we must market. and be able to now generate resources here. But when it concerns the wildlife, we have the human-animal conflict. So in the pursuit of trying to access the water, the animals will now have a conflict with the humans because humans have settled in the corridors of there's need for accommodation. Their own plot, but they are squatting here, and that should be looked into.
Meanwhile, Luangwa Child Development Agency, with support from Child Fund Zambia, has put in mitigating measures to help reduce the impact of human-animal conflict in the district. Luangwa Child Development Agency Chief Executive Officer Danford Mackay said the Yapite resettlement scheme has been covered with a solar fence covering 514 hectares to protect the crops from the wild animals.
The initial plan for that project or scheme was that after fencing the area, which is covered with a solar fence of about 514 hectares of land. So the plan was to put irrigation in that fence so that people are able to grow their crop throughout the year. But of course, along the way, we did not have the money as it were. And so this time around, the plan has still stood. We are trying to make sure that through the Constituency Development Fund, we lobby for part of the money and then have the irrigation scheme work out very well.
And Mr. Mackay said the Mpuka's Skills Center, which is earmarked to be opened in January 2023, will help impart agriculture knowledge in the communities. Lista Ndumba, Luangwa District.
We cross over to Northern Province, where Namusoke Wembia reports that government has started the process of identifying potential beneficiaries to be added to the social cash transfer program in Senga Hill District. Here is a report.
Government has continued to increase the number of beneficiaries on the social cash transfer program across the country. In Senga Hill District, the Department of Social Affairs has started identifying prospecting beneficiaries to be included on the program. This development has been received with joy.
Natotera pakweba tibandemba ko pali social transfer apankala afisha kukubana mumilire pantu ineshenda chitechili chonse so if bandemba kuna totera neshinanga lya safu nishinamfako bwino ndefula shilimpye ndeyafulisha kukubana
kwene tulola kuti uteko kwene mukwavwirisha uko kanivile masimbe ne mukamfwirwa awe yutuombela seneningo pali chino tukusekelelamo.
And Senga Hill District Assistant Social Affairs Officer Imelda Chisulo sheds more light on the program. Ms. Chisulo also explained the guidelines.
So imyaka kuba kotena tufumyaka tubikire pa 60 years ngana mukwanisha 60 years iwenga ndamufumire pota pabo omuntu uli wonse ufola ko olupia lwa social cash transfer ninshimwe na mukwanisha kwa bwani tatuletira ati bamayonga barafola na imwe mwalembesha awe inganda imo mufire mwabafye omuntu mwa wakufola olupia.
Meanwhile, Clinical Officer Edmund Mwanza highlights some of the disabilities the Ministry of Health is considering for people to be issued with certificates.
Category, we are looking at the people that have sustained injuries that have made them not to be able to do any work, like the amputated hands, amputated limbs, the legs. Those are some of the people that we are concentrating on.
Reporting for Zanis in Senga Hill, Namsokwe Wembia.
The Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development Tralad has empowered 38 cooperatives in Mungu District of Northern Province in different livelihood activities. Geoffrey Piri has more in the following report.
Kasaka Cooperative in Mungu District is one of the beneficiaries of the Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development Tralad project. The group was given about 268,000 kwacha and has utilized the funds to start a productive piggery business.
Uteko bali twafuile buno sana watu pakwendalama nkumba twashitire chakuma September cheshi uko twayeshita shaliko nefumo kanshi mu December ero shashire fiala kwena shari fiala natwataba na 22 ero abafyashi babo epai shonse pamosha na 27
atumona tubuya ntanshi natukwata ngaineneka neka ne Frida walya ni umono ko basi nabana nkasambirisha pantu bukumomo buli sana.
The Ministry of Agriculture in Mungwi District is working with TRALAD to empower cooperatives with knowledge in the implementation of the projects.
They went through training, then TRALAD funded them. After funding them, these are the results we can see now, whereby now they have gone to bigger production. The manure they get from here, they take it to the garden. So that's why it is we are doing gardening and the piggery.
Meanwhile, TRALAD Mungwi District Operations Officer Chileshenyi Renda says the implementation of these projects is helping to address adverse effects of climate change.
The 38 sub-projects that have been funded, there are different livelihood activities that they're implementing, such as beekeeping, community forest management groups, as well as natural forest regeneration. So with implementation of these projects, we are helping these communities address the effects of climate change.
Geoffrey Piri, reporting for Zanis in Mungwi District.
And government has urged cultural groups in Northern Province to take advantage of the empowerment programs under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to acquire the funds and enhance their skills. Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao says government has introduced a number of empowerment programs targeting various categories to ensure that everyone benefits. Taonga Nkoma reports.
These are the traditional dancing groups from various districts of Northern Province. They are here to showcase various dances, art and crafts of the region at the Provincial Cultural Festival, which was last held in 2014. Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao was represented by Kasama District Commissioner Elizabeth Goma.
This event provides a beautiful and worth forum for each one of us to love, appreciate and showcase our diverse, rich culture and talent. I also believe that our diverse and rich cultures will make us stronger, more united and focused as we learn and work together. I call upon each one of us to appreciate the fact that we all come from different social, economic, political and cultural background. Therefore, there is need to endeavor and channel positive energy in all that we do.
Provincial Cultural Affairs Officer Vesta Zile explains what the festival is about.
We have decided to subject all the groups from various districts of Northern Province so that they can compete. The best group, of course, that is the view of the judges. Whichever they will pick, then that is the group that is going to represent Northern Province.
Meanwhile, Motomoto Museum Director Paris Nkombwe has urged the cultural groups not to deviate from the indigenous tradition, but to embrace and preserve their culture.
We just want to encourage the communities, the groups, and all the traditional groups not to be discouraged. They shouldn't compete with the contemporary artists because theirs is a business. They are there to entertain. But for the traditional groups, their role is to preserve and to pass on the indigenous knowledge to the upcoming generations.
Taonga Nkoma reporting for Zanis in Kasama District, Northern Province.
We go to Eastern Province, where Sylvester Chishimba reports that President Hakainde Hichilema and the First Lady Mutinta have donated 40 bales of second-hand clothing worth more than 200,000 kwacha to the people of Chadiza constituency in Eastern Province. Here are the details.
They have every reason to be excited as they are the latest recipients of a donation from the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema and the First Lady Mutinta Hichilema. These are residents of Chadiza district in Eastern Province gathered at Kapache Primary School to receive the presidential donation of 40 bales of second-hand clothing plus 2 wheelchairs. And the UPND leadership has traveled here to explain the gesture from the first family.
The contribution or the donation we have given to the people is for the encouragement. They did a very good work. We must also encourage them. We must support them. We must thank them for whatever they did for the party. And you have seen that Honorable Johabi was always in problems because of the 2 people disabled one. They wanted the help, but they didn't know how to get the help. There it is now, Honorable Jahabi and the district chairman, we have exempted the contribution of the 2 wheelchairs. It costs money also. But the president and the president said, no, go and give this, because they requested for assistance.
Uyu msee huyu akainde pamene narukambirana naye president watu anakamba kuti Jahabi makansela zini wangati kuchatiza nikuti Mr. President tinawina makansela 15 council chairman ni watu imwa president mnatenga ma 17,000 plus inde anakamba kuti kakambe kuchatiza natola chatiza na ikamtumba ni boma yangu ya chatiza ukauze vantu vakuchatiza kuchokera kula kuchipata kukafika kuchanida boda ni zakonza mseu kuchoka kula kuchatiza anakamba kuti ukawauze vantu vakuchatiza na kukatete upite ukawauze kuti ni zakonza mseu kuchoka kuchatiza kuya kukatete.
The people of Chadiza have appreciated the donation and have given the first family special thanks for the gesture. Meanwhile, the Constituency Development Fund is having significant impact in Chadiza, as highlighted by the local authority at this meeting.
A lot of our youths have benefited, more especially on the grants, bursaries and loans. From the loans, we gave out to 52 women and youth groups who have benefited from the loans, and we have also given grants to 52 women and youth groups and clubs. But from the same allocation of CDF under 2022, Chadiza district, we are constructing 17 different projects in different wards. Out of these 17, we have health posts, we have also classroom.
Sylvester Shimba, Zanis, Chadiza.
Still with CDF News, Solwezi Central Member of Parliament Stafford Mulusa has expressed happiness with the construction of Kanda Clinic in Sandangombe Ward using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Mr. Mulusa says people in the area will stop walking long distances to access medical services. Details are in the following report by Onishas Mamba.
This is Kanda area in Sandangombe ward of Solwezi district. The area has never had a health facility and residents access health services at Mutanda Mission Hospital and Sandangombe Clinic. However, this will be a thing of the past following the construction of Kanda Clinic under the 2022 Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation. Solwezi Central Member of Parliament Stafford Mulusa has visited the site and is impressed with the outstanding workmanship.
This CDF for 2022 has provided them a clinic for the first time, and we are saying we are going to give them a full clinic with a good sanitation system, with water. We're also building a house for the nurse that is going to take over the clinic, and we want to hand over this clinic when it is functional.
Sandangombe Ward Councillor Peter Kapelemba says the construction of the clinic is a relief for the residents.
I'm just thanking the CDF committee of approving it, because, you know, accessing medical facility in this area has been a challenge. Where Mutanda Mission is far, where Sandangombe Clinic is far. So this will change the way people live in this area. Even those who've been shining away from this area will be coming back, because they know that they're able to access for services of their health at this clinic.
And the residents are happy with the development. For Zanis News, I am Onishas Mamba in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
The Zambia Public Procurement Authority, ZPPA, has advised emerging local contractors and suppliers to partner with foreign contractors in joint ventures if they are to win big tenders. ZPPA Capacity Building Manager Terry Guduza says there's need for Zambian contractors to build capacity if they are to compete effectively with foreign contractors that boast of both experience and financial muscle. Here's a report.
If we notice that a tender is supposed to be for citizens, and we notice that Chimundu is disadvantaging you, the citizens, by offering this tender to non-citizens, then as ZPPA, we can offer guidance. This tender that you are running, according to Public Procurement Act, you are in breach. Therefore, kindly re-advertise and follow the law.
Despite these efforts, the government is still concerned with the lack of capacity among local contractors and suppliers in tendering for bigger projects under the expanded Constituency Development Fund, CDF, which is also compounded by cumbersome tender procedures.
I'm happy that the players are contractors within the district. You are here. And for me, or as a supervisor in the district, I would want us, you and myself, to move together. Once you are given a contract, what we expect from you is completion of the project, and the project should appease the community. And then we are moving in the right direction. But again, if those things are not met, I think this is where now Mr. Gunduza's team comes in. And unfortunately, when these people come, they blacklist you. Too bad for you. You cannot practice anywhere.
And in the bid to address the lack of capacity, Chirundu Town Council has engaged the Zambia Public Procurement Authority, ZPPA, to orient local contractors and suppliers on the Electronic Government Procurement, EGP, system.
Go into joint venture with these other bigger contractors so that you win tenders together. And as you do so, you are gaining experience even as a new company that has just been formed. Yeah. I know Zambians, we are reluctant to Guirizan. But let's learn from our friends. So Zambians, let's now try to also learn from others. Let's be partnering. I know sometimes we want to do it as try to be partnering also. I think that is what we encourage. You partner, you joint venture for new companies. That's the best also for you. Apart from also what they share.
What we're saying now is with the AGP system, the moment they have a plan in place, you have access to the procurement plan. When they advertise a tender, you have access to that information. Also, all the steps that are being done in the procurement process, you as a supplier, you'll be kept in the know. You know if a tender is under evaluation, you will know if a tender is under approval, and you will know once a tender has been awarded. So there are no more secrets in the procurement process.
As for Chirundu District-based local contractors and suppliers, the usage of electronic government procurement system has leveled the playing field for all players in the sector, regardless of their locality.
Such important information. This is the reason why we have been losing a lot of tenders. You try to bid this side. Sometimes because you don't understand and you have not been sensitized in these areas, every time we have been failing. So with the knowledge that you have just impacted in us, I guess this is going to take us somewhere a long way, and it will bring change the way how we'll be handling these bidding documents. And it's good that you have brought a new system which we did not have. So this is another improvement. May you please keep it up, coming to whenever there are some changes, whenever you want to share, or maybe you want to, there's any development within the system, at least you come and educate us. We are so happy and impressed. It is so impressive to read that things are working in such a way. They have been modernized now. So we are in the modern world and we are able to catch up with modern development.
Zanis reports in Chirundu District, Southern Province.
And in Southern Province, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbo, says government values traditional ceremonies as they do not only contribute to national peace and unity, but also a key source of cultural transmission for national development. Speaking at the 2023 Luindi Gonde traditional ceremony in Monze, Mr. Mwimbo said ceremonies such as Luindi Gonde are key to the country's cultural preservation and transmission. Gift Banji has the details.
More than 30 Royal Highnesses from within Southern, Northwestern, Luapula, and thousands of people from across the country gathered at Gonde in Monze, which is the main arena to celebrate the Luindi Gonde traditional ceremony. This ceremony is held annually to give thanks to God for the harvest.
Traditional ceremonies are exceptional gatherings that bring together individuals from all walks of life, fostering peace and unity. Traditional ceremonies not only serve as a means of acknowledging our roots and preserving cherished traditional values. Traditional ceremonies are an important part of our culture as Zambians because they contribute greatly to the promotion of national unity, peace, and harmony.
Traditional ceremonies are key for cultural preservation and transmission.
By the grace of God, we are once again celebrating the Luindi Gonde ceremony. This is our age-old tradition where we celebrate the immediate past good harvest. We also take occasion to seek our ancestral spirits' intervention.
For the chairperson of House of Chiefs, Senior Chief Chisunka, unity among traditional leaders is key for national development.
Chiefs kubolo kuno kutegwa tiho support ba mwami. Jitupalu ga manta nombulimbo bamba. Ba honorable minister. Jetutonde hakutede ne yohulumende. Tiyani tribalism.
Gift Banji, Zanis in Monze, Southern Province.
We now take a break. We have more stories after the break. Please stay tuned.
Life is a journey full of varied experiences. Can we reach our desired destiny? Can we achieve our desired goals? If yes, then how? Join Juliet Mutale on Thursday at 18:30 hours on How I Made It, a program that highlights various success stories from different personalities with different life experiences and backgrounds. Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Hello, it's time for you to know your rights. For ignorance of the law is no defense.
People should report any case of gender-based violence to the police. They should not be tempted to compromise the cases, because compromising a case of gender-based violence is actually an offense.
Zambia, like any other country, has got laws that govern the welfare of its citizens.
We provide some oversight on the police service.
When an officer misconducts himself, he's alone. One person being beaten is enough for the commission to move. The Constitution tells us that the people of Zambia must enjoy their liberties.
Every week on Thursday at 19:30 hours, the Zambia News and Information Services, Zanis, brings to your screens a program dubbed Police and the Community.
If we, the police, and you, member of the public, will work together, because the common enemy we have before us is the criminal.
Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. In construction news, Western Province Minister Kapelo Mbangweta has assured the people of Western Province of an improved road network in the area. Speaking shortly before officially opening the 2023 Provincial Agriculture and Commercial Show held at Kapulanga Agricultural Showgrounds, Mr. Mbangweta said government places high premium on road infrastructure development as good road networks contribute to the positive economic transformation of the country. Mr. Mbangweta pointed out that the increased Constituency Development Fund CDF per constituency will bring about rural development. The minister has since assured farmers in the province of early delivery of farming inputs to farmers before the onset of the rains. Earlier, Western Province Agriculture Cooperative Society Chairperson Joseph Mungandi said the theme for this year, inclusive economic transformation, resonates well with the country's resolve to employ various agricultural techniques to bring about sustainable economic development in the nation. The 2023 Agriculture and Commercial Show attracted people from all walks of life. Still in Western Province, residents of Kalongola area in Sioma district of Western Province are living in fear as a herd of elephants is wreaking havoc in their community. One resident, identified as Namakando Muyoba, explained that for the past several months, the elephants have been venturing out of their natural habitat, causing significant damage to the farmers' crops and posing a danger to the local population. Ms. Muyoba expressed worry as most of their vegetable gardens and maize fields are eaten and trampled on by the animals, saying the community is now faced with hunger. The residents have called on government to consider providing them with relief food to alleviate the hunger situation prevailing on the ground. Meanwhile, Sioma constituency member of parliament Kaliye Mandandi, while addressing the community, assured them of getting help from the Department of National Parks and Wildlife to find a solution to the challenge. A clergyman in Solwezi district of Northwestern Province has called on the church to continue preaching peace and unity for national development. New Apostolic Church Solwezi Mwinulunga area apostle Patrick Poho has told Zanis in an interview that peace is fundamental to the social and economic prosperity of any government. Apostle Poho says when there is peace and unity in the country, citizens are free to engage in economic activities that can ultimately lead to the growth of the economy, hence the need for the church to continue with its mandate to pray for peace in the nation and unity among leaders. He has further called on the church not to relent from preaching the word of God and baptizing people of all nations, as well as leading them to salvation. Meanwhile, Apostle Poho says the New Apostolic Church will continue carrying out corporate social responsibility programs by partnering with government through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU.
If there is peace, then any leadership, any government will be able to prosper, because peace is prevailing and freedom will be there for the people. When there is enough of freedom, then people will be able to engage into their economical activities that will be able to bring forth the economical growth for any country. So we feel as a church, we play the role of preaching peace to all the people and praying to God that then He will be able to grant us the peace of mind into our hearts, into our souls, into our spirits, and then we will be a people that will be able to be led. And we feel we are being led by God, and God has put into place those that are able to lead the nations. And those that are leading the nations, where there is peace, they will find it better to lead such kind of a people. So that is the role we play as a church.
And that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, we have a reminder of the top stories. King Muswati visits Victoria Falls. "38 cooperatives empowered in Mungwi." Local contractors urged to partner with foreign firms. And that is all we had for you in this edition of Zanis News. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Sarah Miti. Goodbye.